Yeah!
Do you know what happens on the last bus of the night between Minneapolis and St. Paul? Most people don't, and those who do, they never look at the bus the same way again. It starts quietly. The streets are empty, slick with rain, glistening under the weak glow of streetlights. You board the bus, tapping your card, settling into a seat. Inside, there are only 5 passengers. A nurse exhausted from a double shift. 2 college students laughing quietly. A man in a dark suit and you. The driver glances at you, then scribbles something in his logbook. Always count your passengers. Write it down. Keep track. It's a rule he learned the hard way. The bus rumbles forward. The hum of the engine mixes with the quiet squeal of wet tires on asphalt. Windows fog up with your breath. Fluorescent lights flicker overhead, buzzing faintly. Everything seems normal, until it doesn't. The first stop passes, empty, no one boards. The second stop, still empty, and then you notice it. In the rearview mirror, there are 6 passengers. Not 5, 6. Your heart skips. You count again. The nurse, the students, the man in the suit, yourself, that's 4. The 5th is in the reflection. A tall figure sitting in the back, hunched, wet, dripping. You freeze. Your stomach twists. The driver glances at the mirror, lips moving silently. He knows. He's seen this before. Step by step, the bus continues. Every mile feels heavier. The air grows colder. The city blurs past, bridges, empty streets, river reflections. The fluorescent lights flicker. The wet streets reflect more than the bus headlights. Something inside the bus is moving. The soaked passenger remains still in the mirror, yet every instinct screams he's alive. He doesn't blink. He doesn't breathe, and yet he waits, patient, watching. At the next stop, you glance again. The doors hiss open. No one is there. Only wet pavement. Only a single street lamp flickering in the darkness. Footsteps echo faintly inside the bus. Heavy, squishing, wet. Step, step, step. The nurse tightens her grip on her bag. The students exchange nervous glances. Even the man in the suit shifts uneasily. You pull your feet up onto the seat. Your heart pounds. Every muscle tenses. You know, without seeing, he is moving closer. The driver does not intervene. He grips the wheel, knuckles white, whispering under his breath. His eyes flicker between the logbook and the mirror, knowing that numbers alone won't save anyone. The bus lurches over a bump. Your head snaps to the window. Streetlights blur, then vanish. You glance back. The reflection in the mirror is gone, but you feel him. Always behind you. Cold, wet, waiting. Stop after stop passes. No one boards. No one leaves. Yet the numbers never match. Always someone or something rides silently, unseen, unaccounted for. By the time you near the final stop, only 4 passengers remain beside you. The driver does not count. He cannot. The logbook is useless now. The reflection shows 6. 6. And still, someone is missing. The bus rolls to the last stop. The doors hiss open. Everyone rushes off into the night, relieved, terrified, looking over their shoulders. But when you step down, glance back, the bus is empty, or so it seems. The puddle of water glistens faintly on the aisle where no one sat. The seat is damp, and if you stare into the mirror, just for a second, you might see him, the soaked passenger, waiting for the next ride, watching, always watching. The Twin Cities midnight bus runs every night. Streets are quiet, engines hum, fluorescent lights buzz, and somewhere inside, someone else is always on board, counting passengers, logging numbers, waiting for the next. If you ever ride the last bus of the night, remember, count carefully. Watch the mirror, and never ever be the last to leave, because if the numbers don't match, you might not either. They say the last bus of the night between Minneapolis and St. Paul has a passenger. No one talks about a man who doesn't speak, a man who never pays, a man who is always wet. It starts quietly. The streets are slick with rain, reflections shimmering on asphalt. You board the bus, tired, late, wanting only to get home. Inside, a few other riders slouch in their seats, heads down, headphones in, ignoring one another the way strangers do at midnight. You take a seat and glance around. 4 others, including yourself, maybe 5 if you count the driver. Everything seems normal, until it doesn't. The doors hiss closed. The bus rattles forward. Your eyes flicker to the rearview mirror. That's when you see him. Step, step, step. A tall man, trench coat soaked, water dripping from his hair, his sleeves, his face. His eyes, glassy, pale, milky, never blink. And the air drops 10 degrees in an instant. He doesn't speak. He doesn't sit immediately. He stands there, dripping, surveying the passengers. Your stomach knots. You try to look away, but your body freezes. Finally, he sinks into the back seat. The cushions hiss as they absorb the water pooling beneath him. The bus groans forward again. Every mile feels heavier, colder. The other passengers shift nervously. The old woman clutches her purse, eyes wide. The man with the phone fumbles, pretending to scroll, but his hands shake. And your feet are inches from the spreading puddle, icy cold, crawling toward you. Drip, drip, drip. The driver keeps glancing at the rearview mirror. His lips move silently. He's seen it before. He knows. Another stop. The doors hiss open. Empty platform. No one boards. Still, the water spreads further. The soaked passenger leans slightly and the chill intensifies. You pull your feet up onto the seat, pressing against the wall. Step, step, step. The sound of wet shoes echoes through the bus. He is coming toward you. His milky eyes fix on yours. The old woman gasps. The man with the phone bolts at the next stop. The doors close, and now only you remain. The bus rattles on. Fluorescent lights flicker. The engine hums like a dying creature. You hear the whispered word, move. It's barely audible, but it cuts through your chest. You can't run. You can't speak. Your hands shake. He leans closer. Water drips onto your shoulder, soaking through your jacket. The chill spreads to your bones. Step, step, step. The bus turns a corner. Streetlights blur. You look back briefly into the mirror. The soaked passenger is still there, smiling, waiting. The last stop approaches. Your heartbeat is deafening. You try to move, but your legs feel heavy. You step off the bus with the others, or at least you think you do. By the time you glance back, the bus is empty. Or is it? The puddle remains, dark, glistening. And if you stare at the last row, you might see him, watching, always waiting. Every night the bus returns. Every night someone disappears, and every night the soaked passenger waits. Count the passengers carefully. Watch the mirror. Don't be the last one to leave, because if you are, he will choose you. The rules of the midnight bus are simple. When the bus reaches the last stop, every passenger should step off. Every seat should be empty, but on this route that never happens. You board the bus late at night. Minneapolis streets are empty. Rain glistens on the asphalt. Fluorescent lights buzz overhead as the bus rumbles forward. The driver glances at you once, then back at the logbook. 6 passengers tonight, he writes. 6. The first few stops are quiet. No one boards. No one leaves. You notice reflections in the rearview mirror. Numbers don't match. There's always someone missing or someone extra. Step, step, step. A soaked figure moves silently to the back. Eyes milky, pale face dripping. Water pools beneath his feet. The bus groans. He doesn't speak. Doesn't blink. Just waits. At each stop, passengers bolt. One by one, they vanish into the night. They don't scream. They don't look back. But the puddle stays, and the mirror never lies. You count carefully. 6 boarded, 5 remain. But in the mirror, 7. Someone or something rides with you unseen. By the halfway point, panic sets in. Your chest tightens. The lights flicker. The engine hums louder. You glance around. No one meets your eyes. Everyone knows. Everyone fears. Stop after stop. The bus empties. The driver keeps silent. He grips the wheel, whispering under his breath. He doesn't look at the logbook anymore. Numbers are meaningless. At the final stop, the bus halts with a hiss. The doors open. Relief floods your chest. You step off. Others step off. But when you glance back, the reflection shows more than the bus holds. Someone remains, always. The soaked passenger slides to the back, waiting. His wet coat glistens. Milky eyes stare. The cold spreads. The floor is soaked. And you feel it. The weight of his presence. The inevitability. One by one, the remaining passengers disappear. Not by leaving. Not by stepping off. Vanishing. Gone. By the time the bus drives off into the night, you realize it isn't the city that swallows them. It isn't the river. It's the ride. The bus itself. And him. The numbers will never match. The logbook will always lie. And if you ever ride the midnight bus long enough, you'll see it for yourself. Step, step, step. The sound will echo behind you. The puddle will reach your shoes. And in the rearview mirror, someone you didn't expect will be there. Always waiting. If you aren't careful, you might be the next to vanish. Not many people live to tell the story of the midnight bus. Emily Carter did. She was 19, a college student at the University of Minnesota. Tired and broke after a late-night shift at the campus library. She thought the bus would be safe. She was wrong. It was 12:55 a.m. when she boarded. The streets were silent, slick with rain. The bus groaned as it pulled away. Inside were 3 others. An old man asleep against the window. A woman with headphones. And a tired office worker gripping his briefcase. The driver scribbled in his logbook. Emily didn't notice the trembling of his hand. She should have. The bus rolled forward. Emily stared out the window, watching the reflections ripple in the rain. Then, at the 3rd stop, the doors hissed open and a chill swept through the aisle. No one was there. No one boarded. Step, step, step. The soaked passenger appeared, trench coat dripping, hair plastered to his pale face, milky eyes that never blinked. Water pooled beneath him, spreading across the floor. The air grew colder with each drop. Emily froze. The other passengers seemed frozen too, though the woman with headphones tried to ignore him, and the office worker gripped his briefcase tighter. The soaked passenger sat at the back, silently observing. Drip, drip, drip. The sound echoed louder than the engine, louder than the tires. Move, he whispered. The first passengers fled at stops, scrambling into the night. 1, 2, 3, gone. Emily was paralyzed with fear. She couldn't move, couldn't speak. Her legs refused to obey. The bus continued. The driver whispered prayers under his breath. His knuckles were white on the wheel. Emily's phone flickered, then died. Darkness. Silence. Step, step, step. The soaked passenger leaned closer. His cold coat touched her shoulder. The chill spread through her entire body. Breathless, she tried to turn, but the pale eyes never left hers. And then, in a voice that gurgled like water through stone, he whispered again, "You'll ride with me." The bus lurched. Lights flickered. And then silence. When Emily woke, the bus was in a ditch. Windows shattered. Rain poured in. Seats torn. The driver was gone. The old man was gone. The soaked passenger, gone. Emily was alone. Police arrived. She screamed her story, describing every detail. The dripping coat, the milky eyes, the spreading puddle. They didn't believe her. Or maybe they had heard it before. The driver's logbook lay open, soaked through with rain. The last number written 5, but only Emily survived. For the rest of her life, she repeated the same warning. Don't ride the last bus. Don't look at the mirror. He's still waiting. Even decades later, the story persists. The midnight bus runs. Riders vanish. Some survive. Most don't. And every survivor knows one thing. The soaked passenger chooses who rides and who disappears. The Twin Cities never forget. Not the bridges, not the tunnels, and certainly not the midnight bus. Every year the stories return. Different faces, different names, same ending. The bus rolls through Minneapolis and St. Paul. Late at night, empty streets, mist curling in the headlights. Riders climb aboard, unaware of what waits, and he waits. The soaked passenger. The bus hums forward, tires hissing over slick streets. Neon signs blur past. Fluorescent lights flicker above. The passengers settle into their seats, pretending nothing is wrong. But the air is heavy. The temperature drops. A chill snakes along the floor. Drip, drip, drip. The wet footsteps echo through the aisle. He moves slowly, deliberately. Trench coat sagging. Hair plastered to his pale, milky-eyed face. Water pools beneath him. The passengers stiffen. Panic builds. Move, he whispers. No one speaks. No one dares. Some reach the next stop and flee, trampling into the night. Others freeze in terror. The puddle spreads, dark and cold, creeping across the floor. The reflection in the mirror shows more than the bus holds. By the halfway point, only a few remain. They clutch their bags, whispering prayers. The lights flicker. The engine hums louder. Each stop empties more seats. But the soaked passenger stays, smiling faintly, waiting for the next choice. The final stretch of road approaches, the river looming black and endless beside the bus. The smell of algae and damp air fills the aisle. The dripping grows louder. The cold penetrates to the bone. Step, step, step. The driver whispers under his breath, hands trembling on the wheel. He doesn't look in the rearview mirror. He knows what's coming. At the last stop, the bus hisses to a halt. Doors creak open. Relief fills the remaining passengers as they step into the night. But when they glance back, the seats are empty. Except for the puddle, the wet back row glistens in the faint light. The soaked passenger isn't there. Not yet. But he will return, always. By morning, the water is gone. The seats are dry. The bus looks normal again. But the stories persist. Riders vanish. Families grieve. Police search the streets, the river, the tunnels. No bodies are found, only puddles. And the survivors, rare as they are, always repeat the same warning. Count the passengers carefully. Watch the mirror. Make sure the numbers match. If they don't, you're already gone. The bus runs every night. Empty streets, flashing headlights, fluorescent lights buzzing. And somewhere inside, someone else is always on board. Someone who counts. Someone who waits. Step, step, step. The soaked passenger chooses. And if you ever ride the midnight bus between Minneapolis and St. Paul, he will find you. Subscribe for more terrifying horror stories every day.